What up, my peoples? I'm gonna do a quick little tutorial. So this is what I started on a couple months ago. When I never got around to finishing it, got real busy. Now I have more time, so I want to finish this. Probably within this. Now I'm gonna do another video separate, honestly. But for this video itself, I'm just gonna stencil out an ideal and show y'all my process. Oh, so I didn't stencil it yet. So I'm gonna run this through the stencil machine real quick, and then we'll be right back. All right, so we have our stencil here, and just to kind of prep the fake skin first, just like I would do with normal skin, give it a quick little wipe down with some alcohol, kind of sanitize the area. I've noticed that the alcohol itself just makes the skin a bit more drier. So when you put the stencil formula on it, it gives it more of a tacky feel. Yeah, so usually like I said, give it a nice wipe down with some alcohol, sterilize the area, then we'll, with some green soap, we'll shave the area itself, slap some water on it to clean everything, probably do another quick layer of alcohol, and then let that kind of dry, and then we'll go into our whole stencil method and applying the stencil. I decided to do this on the bed itself when I'm getting ready to actually tattoo. On a hard table, it's just too hard and stiff. This itself, it gives me like the feel of actual skin. Press it into it, you know, it's not too hard, not too soft, but yeah, the only thing is we have to work around this little edge so we can have consistency. But as for my, what is this stuff called? Slow moment, I'm sorry. As for my stencil stuff, I use Ejectrum, if that's how you pronounce it. Green gold, I love it. You apply this and it literally will last throughout the whole tattoos. And because I don't use a lot of line work, it's very important that I have a stencil formula that works. And since this is fake skin, I'm gonna use a little bit and just kind of stretch it, same as you do with regular skin, real skin, like on an actual client, but not too much. The thing is with this, it doesn't really absorbs it, so I really don't want too much on this. That way the stencil ideal itself just kind of runs wild. But yeah, we'll get this all saturated up or lubricated up right here, even it out. Add a little bit more just for the sides, and I think I'm going this way. Put that up there. So yeah, just kind of make sure you get that all in there. All right, so when it comes down to my ideal, I try to get as close as possible to the actual lines itself. Oh, that's crazy. So before I do that, I actually did this painting randomly, and it's just sitting here, and it's pretty much the same idea. So just thought I'd show you guys that, but gotta find somewhere for that. But back to this. So when it comes down to my stencil, I try to get as close to the lines as possible, especially if I'm overlaying things and building the sleeve with just random art and it's not done together like on my Procreate app. But for this purpose, for the video purpose, we'll just get this cut out. and just placed. Alright. So we have our stencil, and that's what I was scared of right there, but it's fine. So massage all this in here again. Actually, so another good tip for me is I love to use, I get a piece of napkin and just damp it with a bit of water, not too much, because you know the stencil paper, so I'm gonna use this. And this is what I do with my clients as well. It helps to kind of, that's not straight at all. It helps to help the stencil move and form with the body itself. So I want to put this like dead center. So when I'm stenciling, I start with the center, press down, make sure that part is right, and then I'll just take my damp napkin, get a good grip on it, and I'll just brush out the sides. Not too hard to pull it, but just to make sure, you know, everything is on the paper, on the skin. And kind of switch it up here and there so that stencil isn't bleeding through it. And just pushing from middle outwards. Make sure all the flaps are down. And then I'll come back and just damp, just to make sure we get that ideal in there. And I just don't want it to bleed because, like I said, this doesn't absorb it as much. But as long as we have those hard lines where we need it, we'll be perfectly fine. So usually what I'll do is we'll just let that sit for a little bit on a client for about 2 minutes or so, just let it get a bit tacky. But for this, like I said, it's not absorbing it, so. This is also a method I use to kind of make sure we got every line, and then we'll just take one of these edges. Again, that middle point is very vital for me. So when I'm pulling up and I see my stencil, as long as my stencil is good, I'll keep it. But if it's not, then I'll just put it right back down. And I'll focus on the layers that I need to add the stencil. But this is perfect for me. Perfect. Love how that came out. And there you go. Perfect stencil. Again, if I'm on a client, depending on how much time I have and how much stencil I use, but I will go back and hit it just like this, press down to get all that excess off without touching the part that's not covered with the paper. Hit that a couple times. I don't move it, just pat. You don't want to, let me show you. So if I was to say, let me wipe it, you'll wipe it right off. And that's not what we want. We don't want to wipe it off. Alright, so again, if you can see it up here, if I want to wipe that, it'll wipe right off. And it's not what we want. So we'll let this dry for a little bit. It actually takes longer than the usual 10-15 minutes if you're doing it on a real skin opposed to this. It takes a while and we have these fine lines, so we'll come back on this probably tomorrow, and then we'll do the whole shading techniques. I'll give you guys more inside depth of how I shade. And can you see? And I'll set something up probably right here where you can actually see my needles. I'll probably have my needles choice right here. Let me see, that's probably gonna move too much, but yeah, I'll definitely set something up so we can have it where you can see the needles, and I'll go into showing you the color choices that I use. Like I know for the eyelids, the eyebrows, again, the eyelashes, I'm sorry, we're gonna use solid blacks, triple blacks, and all the line work in here, and we'll use that. Down here we'll probably hit it with some triple blacks just to kind of emphasize this curvature here, and then smoothing that out there. We'll hit some triple blacks along this line, fan it out into here, probably into like a middle tone, and then on the back end of this line, more triple blacks, and again on the back end of that line, just bringing the image outside of this structure and up. I may add some funky little lines, and we'll get jiggy with it a little bit later, but we'll figure out how we doing, you know, maybe add a tear coming down. We'll figure that out. But yeah, we'll definitely get creative. I hope this was helpful. If it was, like and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're gonna definitely jump on this tomorrow. I wish I can get to it tonight. It's just gonna take some time to dry, but definitely want to do this. I may do this tonight since I have the time, like I said. Yeah, and this is what I want this to be. So once we get this has been there for a couple weeks, no, actually a couple months. But it'd definitely be fun to see how much I transition from this style, and see if we can get more realistic while trying to make all this flow together. But yeah, we'll definitely, and this is where we started at. Oh, this is the reference. Yeah. But all right, my peoples, see you guys on the next video. Hope this was helpful. Again, if it was, please do us a justice, like and subscribe to the channel. It will really help us out. And be sure to comment below whatever you guys want to know. If you want me to do a particular idea, if it's something that you want me to show you. Again, this is the stencil stuff that I use. I'll put all the information in the description below. Like I said, ask whatever you want to ask, what type of ink I use, and just to give you that. So for my triple blacks, I use Zipper by Intense. This is my triple blacks. It's just the darkest black that I've come to understand since I've been tattooing. I've tried the dynamic triple blacks, but just doesn't work. And this is what I use for all my gray washes. I mix it down and make my own gray washes depending on the tattoo, the person's skin tone, and this one last one, and the light source in itself, the depths and the hues of everything. Yeah, so definitely will be back with you guys with more, you know, intuitive things. Again, like and subscribe, my fellow people. We can't do this without y'all. Y'all help bring the community here, and we're gonna help bringing out content to, you know, keep us going. Y'all have a good one.